too dramatic?
A little bit.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. Here we go. We just got done with Darbone. I got done with Darbone. I would have loved to make it to Caney and Bussy break. So did not make Caney or Bussy. But this is the recap video. I feel like your lens is kind of dirty.
It is, but you can't see it. I've been here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, okay. All right, so here we go. We got Darbone. We got stage 1 recap. So we're gonna go into stage 1 recap and like kind of just go into the mindset of how the tournament kind of laid out. I didn't make the second day cut. Well, actually I made the second day. I didn't make the cut to Caney, and sometimes it bees like that. You know, that's a part of fishing that you're gonna have to deal with, variables, and it just didn't pan out for me this week. No excuses, no whining about it, which I will whine just a little bit, which y'all know me, I'm gonna whine a little bit. But the variables for the week were definition, actually a very good adjective was cold. AF, cold. So we had 1 day of practice. So typically in the Bass Pro Tour we have 2 days of practice. They canceled day 1 because of freezing rain and icy roads, and the wind was blowing like 25 miles an hour, okay? So we had 1 day of practice. 1 day of practice, and then after that it was 35 degrees, which keep in mind, I'm gonna throw this disclaimer out there. All the variables are the same for all these guys. And that's what that's what I gotta keep in my mind, and all these other people that are fishing, the variables are the same. It's kind of similar when we show up to a cup event. All the variables are the same, except when you know the lake. So, which in this instance, a lot of guys didn't know it because they'd never been there before. But I went and pre-fished Darbone. So I went and pre-fished Darbone, Caney. I didn't ever go to Bussy, but I went and pre-fished these lakes a month ago, okay? Now there are really, really good things about going and pre-fishing on a lake that you've never seen before. And there's kind of bad things, okay? Because, so I went and pre-fished Darbone. I really liked it. I caught several fish. I fished, I idled, I looked. I kind of got an idea or a zone that I like, okay? Well, that zone, and I'll just tell you the name of the creeks, Little Darbone, where we go out for the boat ramp, I fished in pre-practice. I went in Corny and I went in Little Darbone. I knew majority of the fish are gonna get caught on the upper end of the lake. So that's where I concentrated my time. I didn't really like Corny Creek or Corny, whatever, I guess that's the name of it. I didn't really like that much when I went and pre-fished because the water was kind of clear. Typically in that clear water, them fish spin a lot more and they're a little bit harder to catch. That little bit of dinge will really concentrate them, and you can kind of pick your targets where they're going to be at, because the fish don't just float around near as bad. The only snag in the plan was I didn't know that we were going to have a freezing cold, snowy, icy front that comes in. And what happened on that side of the lake, this was the key why I did not catch them. There's no excuses. I should have adjusted better. I launched my boat that first morning and I ran around and I fished a pretty good bit, and it was really, really tough. The water had not dropped as cold yet, but I was still honestly in practice mode. My practice I didn't really find much in practice. Like very couple random bites here and there. I had one bite on the main lake, and I had one bite in the very back of Darbone, and I had one bite in the very back of Corny, so you're sitting there wondering like, which direction do you go? So this game that we play is all about decisions, okay? And ultimately, the decisions that need to be made is during the tournament. You can go practice. We're talking about practice. So during the tournament, I had to make a decision. Left, right, straight, where are we going? Well, I ended up going to all of them places because that was kind of my second day of practice. Caught one that day. No, I caught 2 fish. But I caught one. It was like a 4.5 pounder or whatever. And I would say that kind of dialed me in a little bit. But it really didn't, because I caught that fish in one little spot, and it was in the very back of a creek. And I didn't get any more bites in there. I didn't like the watercolor, and like, this is all my style of fishing. Like, everyone's personalities are different when we show up to these lakes. For me, I kind of like a little more dingier water. That allows, I bet this is, who is this? Let's see what Bob has to say. What's going on, Rob?
Oh, what's going on?
So I'm sitting here filming, talking about Lake D'Arbonne in Louisiana.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah, sounds real good.
Sounds like you're enjoying that.
Yeah, we're having a good time. We're talking about old D'Arbonne. That place sucks. So,
Are you filming a video currently?
yeah, we're filming right now. Hey, y'all go follow my man, Rob Turkla. Y'all already know him. If you probably, the main reason you follow me is because you follow him. So, but yeah, we're gonna shoot this video. I'll hit you right back.
Okay.
Let's see. Water temp's cooling off big time. Okay, if you're fortunate enough in practice to get on a little deal, you know, Mark ended up catching really good in an area, and he got on that little spot, and he caught them all out in one little area, and that's awesome. I never found a certain area that I really like, so I'm still kind of bumping around. So I launched the boat into day 2. This is where everything kind of shifted for me. I'd already practiced and fished the majority of the lake. I did not go in Little D'Arbonne where I caught them in pre-practice. That was kind of like my Harney Pond area. If you ever fished Okeechobee, like used to, everybody would just go to Harney Pond, and if you ain't caught nothing, just go to Harney Pond and just fish. So I was kind of like, all right, I've caught fish in here. I got confidence in this Little D'Arbonne little area. Let's just go in here and fish. So I run up in there, and right off the bat, I run in there. And I don't know, it was this weird feeling. I was like, I think we're gonna catch them in here today. So I set the boat down, and Stephen Browning was actually leading the tournament. Stephen came running right past me, and I was like, well, that's a good sign. I had no clue where he was fishing at, because he was catching some fish, and I was like, well, maybe they're biting here. The biggest problem was the water temp was 43.5. I guess all that snow runoff or ice runoff, and that creek, for some reason, had a few feeder creeks that ran into it. It bumped that water temp down bad. And there's always a threshold whenever you're out there fishing, okay? When it's 40, I'd say 48. For me, that's kind of a threshold. I can handle 48, 49, 50. 50 is perfect. I'm in on 50-degree water temp. Anytime you get below 48, 47, 46, 45-degree water temp, those fish react totally different. You know, there's also, think of it this way, a topwater bite. For me, threshold is kind of that 60-degree mark, okay? 60 degrees, they will trash a buzzbait or a topwater. You start dipping down like 58, 57, 56, they ain't really wanting to come up on that. Now, I have caught some, believe it or not, I have caught them in 52-degree water temp on top. I did that. And they'll come out and trash a swim jig through grass, through a mat, like a frog bite in 52, 51. I've seen them do it, I did it. But that threshold for me in the wintertime is like 48. It gets 47, 46, 45. Ooh, it starts getting a little tough. So I launched, I ran back in there, it was 43.5. I immediately was like, I wanted to throw up. I was like, oh my God, this is not the deal. This ain't the deal. I dipped out. I ran out of that little area. And I kept checking score tracker, and nobody caught anything in there. Literally zeroed. Steven zeroed. Several other guys zeroed that was in there. I seen like 6 boats. There was only 1 bass. It was like a 1 pound 12 ouncer. So that little area was shot. I run around. I fish a couple other extra little pockets, main lake. I'm trying to figure out what these fish are doing. I don't mind going to get a bite. No, I would love to go get a bite. Couldn't go get a bite, but I don't mind just throwing my trolling motor down and just fishing. I don't mind doing that. I love doing that. That's cool. But for me, like, what I love is trying to find the puzzle and like putting the pieces together. And when you can't get a bite, you can't hardly put the pieces together. So that was basically the story of the week for me. I just didn't figure out the pattern. Didn't figure it out. Sometimes it happens, even to the best in the world. I have seen Kevin go out there and have a tough day. That's part of bass fishing, and like, it's just one of them deals. I really love piecing that together and getting an idea and going off of that and getting a clue here, getting a clue there. I really hate just going down the bank and just fishing, hoping for a bite. I don't feel any kind of accomplishment out of that. So just didn't figure them out at D'Arbonne. D'Arbonne got me. There's no way around it. oh gosh, that place was tough. A lot of guys didn't really catch them that good. I mean, the cut weight went by like 11 pounds, which I ended up catching a couple extra fish late in the day, and it was just too late. I actually found one little area late in the afternoon. We're talking about the last 30 minutes where I had 2 bites, and I was like, huh, too little, too late. So missed out on the cut on that, but I wanted to post this video just to kind of go into the thinking process and how you hear that cliche saying, I should have zigged when I should have zagged and blah, blah, blah. That happens a lot, especially whenever you only have 8 hours to figure out a lake. You don't really have a lot of practice. Should have been on the left side of the lake. Should have been on the right side of the lake. Just ran out of time. I ran out of time. That's all it was to it. Darbone in the past. That was the recap. I caught the few fish that I did catch. I caught one good one on jerkbait, and I caught one flipping a jig with like a bandito bug, and it was very, very slow fishing. That just does not fit. I fish way too fast. I'm always just, and that's a learning thing that I have to become better at. When you lose, at least learn something from it. You can lose and then be all mad, and like, I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of mad about it because I was like, man, this place stinks. But whenever you do lose out, always try to learn and reflect on that tournament. That's what's gonna make you a better fisherman, better at everything in any sport. When you strike out, if he struck you out on curveballs, go find somebody to do BP with you and let him throw curveballs all day. That's going to make you better in the end. So there's always a reason for everything. If I could rewind, the number one thing that I did wrong was I went off of past experience. I went there and I pre-fished. I ran to that area and I had confidence in that area. The conditions were totally different, and that hurt me in the end. I went on the wrong side. Number two, I fished too fast. I fished too fast, and I did not slow way down like I needed to. I probably fished past a lot of fish just trying to get a bite. My personality is when I fish fast, when I get a bite or a little clue, then I will slow way down in like snail's pace. But when you don't get a bite, you just, in a 45, 46, 47 degree water temp, you can't do that. You honestly got to paw chariot, just go and kick it up, kick up your feet, pitch your old jig and pig over upside the log, and just don't even move it. Let it sit at the bottom, just sit there for a minute. Oh, I think I got a bite. No, that's a cypress tree limb. Oh, there's one. And then you catch it. Me, I'm over here like, it's not springtime. Slow the crap down. That's a recap for Lake Darbone. I actually contemplated on not doing a recap on this because I was like, dang, what am I going to recap? The main reason for me recapping was to reflect on what I did wrong, and I should have slowed way down, and I shouldn't have fished past experience. So to help you become a better angler, that's what we're here for. I post these videos, and the number one thing I kind of want y'all to get out of this video is learn from wins and losses. Okay, slow way down. Figure out what you did wrong. Don't just, I'm really bad. I'm just like anybody else. I'll blame it on the lake. Oh, it sucked. It did suck, but there was fish getting caught. Just not by me. So, but yeah, we're moving on to Lake Fork. Next, I'm actually leaving in 2 more days. I'm flying back. We're going back. We start practice on Thursday. Totally different lake. Totally different conditions. We went there 2 years ago. The fish were spawning. They're not going to be spawning now. The water's 6 foot down, so it's a brand new lake. I don't have any waypoints on that lake. We're gonna go out there and go practice. No preconceived notions, nothing. Figure out what the lake's doing at that time and let it develop throughout the week. That's the best way to do it. So appreciate you guys tuning in. This is Lake Darbone recap, stage 1. We'll be back. Appreciate y'all. See you.